not wasting time. First off, are you surprised to see me up here after Raw immediately reviewing the show? Because I sure as hell am. I'm literally could have a little bit of energy left right now. And with how chaotic last week was, I felt, well, if I have that little bit of ounce of energy, why not just review Raw tonight? I usually don't review Raw after Mondays because, one, I haven't been watching live lately. And two, because I'm usually too tired and I have to get up for work tomorrow morning early. But, seeing that I have a little bit of energy in me, why not? Why not just get it out of the way and talk about this shitfest Monday Night Raw? The August 2nd, 2021 edition. It took place in Chicago, Illinois. That was the only reason why I wanted to watch this show tonight. I wanted to see how much the crowd was going to hijack this show. Chicago, is one of the best crowds you get in wrestling. Wrestling fans, would chant CM Punk. If you talk about a savage crowd, Chicago speaks the truth. However, though, tonight was an exposure of WWE and Vince McMahon and things that we've wondered for a while, and it for sure is true. Even though we are back in front of live crowds, Vince McMahon still thinks he can control us. He can get in control. Except the problem is when you're in control and there's glitches, it can cause you to be exposed for the fraud that you are. It does. There was a part in the show. It was during Drew McIntyre's entrance with a sword made from the tooth of the Loch Ness Monster, where it was obviously a piped-in noise. And you want to know why we knew it was a piped-in noise? Because you heard Michael Cole talking about a 16-time world champion. They knew they were coming in tonight to a savage crowd. They were going to chant CM Punk. Well, I never heard any AEW chants. We heard a "We Want Wyatt" chant. A "We Want Wyatt" chant during the Goldberg and Lashley promo at the beginning of the show. Vince was not having any of it tonight. He didn't want to hear about it. He didn't want to hear about Bray Wyatt. He didn't want to hear about CM Punk. He didn't want to hear about AEW, even though apparently they're not really competition to us. They're not competition to you, yeah, because you're still beating them in ratings. Yet they had, 1.1 million viewers this week? I'm sure this show probably barely got 1.5. We're still winning in ratings, yeah. Years ago, you had 4. On Christmas Day last year for SmackDown, you had 4 million viewers. And you're completely okay with 1.5 million? Let me tell you guys something. AEW is coming here for August 11th and August 13th for Dynamite and Rampage. I'm going to Dynamite. I'm not going to Rampage. I originally had plans, but they got canceled. But I'm not going to Rampage. But I'm going to Dynamite. You could not give me a free ticket. You could not give me $1 million. You couldn't bribe me with anything to go to Monday Night Raw right now. You can't. This sucks. It is stupid. It is pointless. It's insulting. And it just feels like corporates are screwing with us. Playing games with us. Because they can. And this show was just a complete blueprint of it. They fought back against the crowd. WWE fought with its own audience tonight when I watched this show. They tried to pipe in noises when it was obvious that most of the time they were sitting on their hands and feet. There was nothing on this show that got me excited for SummerSlam. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Not Goldberg, not Nikki A.S.H., not Bobby Lashley, not Damian Priest, not Matt Riddle, not Drew McIntyre, not even the sword made from the tooth of the Loch Ness Monster. Nothing. The show is horrible. It's literally one of the worst shows ever, in my opinion. Let's just talk about this show and get out of the way, then I'll go to bed. Well, I'm going to start watching NXT UK and try to get caught up with everything by the go-home weekend for SummerSlam and TakeOver 36. I'm going to try. I can't guarantee I'll be all caught up, but with them having a match at TakeOver 36 with Walter off, I wanted to be able to be able to catch up by then. But let's check the live chat first. Let me see here. Tyler says bad show, gave it an F. What's up, Mark? Hopefully Shayna and Nia are finally breaking up. I hope to God they are. But at this point, who cares? He's also worried about Randy. Yeah, we still don't know what the heck's going on with Randy Orton. Raw is the worst brand of 2021. It's been my worst brand for many years. Nikki A.S.H is the worst women's champion than Carmella and Bayley. Oh boy. That might be true. I'm going to be real. That might be true. Nothing matters on this show than the shows than Roman Reigns. Of course. That's all Vince cares about. What's up with Roman? Who's next for Roman? That's all he cares about. That's all he cares about. Nothing on anything on the main roster matters unless your name is Roman Reigns. And that's a fact. Let's run down this show. We open up with MVP and Bobby Lashley come out, which the crowd was chanting Bobby. And then MVP comes out, he basically says how, yes, Goldberg is good, but, Goldberg is old. We're not going to be able to, he's not going to be able to take out Bobby Lashley. He's a gladiator. He's a kaiju. He's an unstoppable monster. Blah, blah, blah. Basically saying that, if Lashley accepts Goldberg's challenge, it could very well be Bill's final match of his career because, Bobby's big and scary. Goldberg comes out and basically says, nope, you guys are scared of me, blah, 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 this and that, and you're not a real athlete, you're a gladiator, and, you're just afraid. Even my spear, he said. And Goldberg goes to leave, and then MVP walks over to the corner where Goldberg's son, Gage, is sitting, and then he basically just starts trashing him, saying, this could be your daddy's last match, blah, blah, blah. He's going to get destroyed, blah, blah, blah. And then Goldberg comes out of nowhere, does a horrible-looking spear on MVP to take him out. And apparently that pissed off Bobby Lashley that he accepted his challenge later in the show. You're scared! You're scared! No, I'm not scared! No, I'm not scared! Stupid booking, of course, that is for this feud. We have Drew McIntyre come back out in the handicap match, and he actually brings his sword down to the match. It was supposed to be a 2-on-1 handicap match with him versus Veer and Shanky, and it's a DQ because they had chairs. Then it was 3-on-1 with Jinder joining in, and all three of them get ready to attack Drew with chairs, but then Drew just reaches over and grabs his 5-foot sword and starts swinging it at them like a child playing, like a sword fight or whatnot. And that scares away Jinder so bad, him, Shanky, and Veer, like, we gotta get out of here. We gotta get out of here. Drew's a madman. He's swinging a sword. Some horribly scripted dialogue. And like I said, just they turn the sword into a freaking play toy. Oh, that's a sword. That's gonna be cool. People are gonna pop. They're gonna go nuts for swords. Like, Vince seriously thinks we're stupid. Vince thinks we're stupid and will cheer for anything. No, we don't cheer for anything. It's to prove because you just pipe in your damn noises when you hear Michael Cole, who was the head commentator on SmackDown, thank you very much, say something about 16-time world champion during Drew McIntyre's entrance. We ain't stupid. And then basically Drew just says I haven't finished a job against Jinder, so obviously you're set up for some type of a match at SummerSlam, which I pray it's anything. Because I saw something today and I was just like, oh no, oh no, oh no. Whatever they do with Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal at SummerSlam, it's whatever for me. But do not, under any circumstances, make that a Punjabi prison match. I saw someone post something today, I think on YouTube or something, and I think it was like a predicted match card. I predicted Jinder and Drew in a Punjabi prison match. And I'm like, dear God, no. Oh, dear God, no. Remember the last time we got Punjabi prison? Battleground 2017, that horrible show? Remember the return of the Great Khali at the end? I was just, one of the most priceless, silent reactions I've ever had. Gosh. We didn't have Nia Jax take on Rhea Ripley, and Rhea, I guess, busted open Nia Jax, and then Rhea won, but then afterwards, Jax and Baszler bicker, and Shayna storms off. Hope to God that's what the case, and her doesn't go back to being friends with Nia. And then Ripley hit the Riptide on her. Then Mansoor and Mustafa Ali took on Mason T-Bar again, but this time Mason T-Bar won. Then they attacked them after the match and whatnot. So, yeah, so much for building a new tag team. 50-50 booking, as always. Then we have Charlotte come out, who talks about seeing the headline for Simone Biles leaving the Olympics. Now she wondered why the greatest gymnast would back out of her dream, but then she found it was for mental health reasons. She couldn't help but emphasize. 2 weeks ago at Money in the Bank, she won the Raw Women's title, but then Nikki stole the title by cashing in. She's been in the business for a long time, but the next morning she was at her breaking point. She's the most decorated woman in the history of the business, and she gets a kendo stick, a broom, and a chair, one weapon for each time she's been cashed in on. And she said, no one's going to keep cashing in on me, not even Nikki A.S.H. And then Nikki Cross hits her with a freaking chair, and Charlotte runs off to hype up their no-holds-barred match. So that's the thing that Charlotte whined about at the end of the night. Hoser? Really? That's the best you can do? Sorry, I just got a text, and whoever's watching, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so now the whole night Charlotte's whining like, nobody else is going to cash in on me, nobody else is going to cash in on me. Well, maybe if you weren't put in the main event scene all the time for no reason, maybe nobody else would be constantly cashing on you, Charlotte. Eva Marie and Doudrop have an interview, and they complain about the Lily interruption last week, and says that Tamia's going to get the same treatment Natalya got last week, which was an ankle injury, and Tamina beat Doudrop with a Samoan drop. And then there was a stupid distraction again with Alexa Bliss cracking up with Lily and the Tron. There was a segment later on in the show where Doudrop and Eva crash Alexa's playground, beat down Alexa, but they had some weird thing. Oh my goodness, Lily stood up and whatnot. Who cares? Damian Priest and Matt Riddle have a backstage chat where Riddle rambles about random shit. They have a chat about whether or not Matt is worried about Omos beating him tonight. But Matt says he has the power of Orton with him and congratulates Damian on beating Sheamus, and that's why he's on Miz TV instead of celebrating. Priest says if they try anything, he'll make sure Morrison has a wheelchair set up just like The Miz. They have Miz TV next. Miz issues a bunch of accusations of Damian Priest, including cheating and knocking Sheamus' face mask off. Priest then calls Sheamus a badass for fighting with his injury and asks if Miz's leg is even hurt, or perhaps a situation between the legs. I guess if it was his donger that is hurt or something like that. He also said he used to put bullies in their places, and now he gets to do it every night, and then Morrison gets in his face. They brawl, basically, and then sets up a match with Damian Priest and John Morrison, which, by the way, let me just say this. I am not. I even tweeted towards Vince about this. I am not laughing about this whole Johnny Drip Drip stuff, and now he's being America's Moist Wanted. America's Moist Wanted Johnny Drip Drip. You know Vince is laughing his head off that. You know he came up with that. Well, it ain't funny. And I personally tweeted him. I said, yeah, you better grow up. You need to do something called grow up. Oh, Robbie has a message for me in the live on the live chat from Instagram.
Well, Mike, I did Ruby Riott. I did Aaliyah Mysterio. I did Peyton Royce. And guess what? I got another one. So, can I tell you a story, Mikey?
Oh boy.
Because it goes a little something like this.
Oh boy.
Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there lived a little girl named Nikki Cross.
Oh boy.
And Nikki Cross, see, she had a magic super suit. And that magic super suit turned her into almost a superhero.
Not a superhero,
Little
almost.
Nikki, she embodied that super suit.
I'm pretty sure we're going to get a part 2 to this, so we'll have to wait to be continued with amazing stories from Robbie One Kenobi. But thank you, Robbie, for that, for the first of part of this intriguing, much more entertaining story than Roman Reigns and his magic beans and Drew McIntyre and his sword made by the tooth of the Loch Ness Monster. But where was I? Anyways, so yes, I don't find this whole America's Moist Wanted thing funny. And I even tweeted towards Vince, I'm like, grow up, stop, acting like a child. But Damian Priest beat John Morrison, but afterwards Sheamus attacked Priest, but then Ricochet came out to even the odds. Then we had another random tag match with Damian Priest and Ricochet taking on Morrison and Sheamus, and Damian Priest and Ricochet win after Priest hits the Reckoning. Okay, fine. Then, again, that's when Bobby Lashley basically accepts Goldberg's challenge. And then Omos then destroyed Matt Riddle in a match. And, and then we got another match between Keith Lee and Karrion Kross. And guess what? Oh, we've had Keith Lee lose a lot lately, so... Oh, what the heck? Put him against Kross. You don't have Kross lose again. Who cares? Both guys should not be facing each other. I'll give them credit. It was a good match. But when you have Karrion Kross lose his main roster debut to all people, Jeff Hardy, to Keith Lee going on a losing streak since coming back, how would one person being the other person benefit either one? It doesn't. Keith won, yes, he needed a win, but Kross didn't need to take another loss. I mean, it doesn't matter. The first loss hurt him enough the way it was, so he's just another guy. So Keith Lee wins there. And then, we have Reggie defeating Akira Tozawa for the 24/7 championship. Then we have Nikki Cross, kind of typical, like 101 babyface promo, basically saying that, I'm almost a superhero. I gotta beat Charlotte Flair, even though I'm the champion and I should be considered the best, but I'm not the best, which again just makes no sense. You have to just give it your best, and if you believe in yourself, just typical crap that they would say. Oh, kids love when people say that. It's boring, it's stupid, and it's scripted. And then Charlotte took on Nikki Cross in this no-holds-barred match, and Charlotte basically had offense and basically had Nikki beat like 95% of that match. The only spot where Nikki basically had the upper hand was when Charlotte went for that spear, and Nikki got out of the way, and then Charlotte literally went through the table and literally, cut the table in half with her own shoulder. The way she sold it was actually pretty cool. I like how she went through just basically just like, she really just went through, just cut it in half, and it looked like she, just smoothly went through it. And then Nikki sets her up for a fisherman's neck breaker off the ropes and wins. Like, that was literally the only 2 moves Nikki did the whole entire match. She looked pathetic. She looked like an idiot. She looked like a joke in the match. Yes, she won, but again, for crying out loud, she never looked like once, even when she won the match, never looked like she could have beaten Charlotte Flair. But she's still the champion, so we still gotta believe that. Yeah. Like I said, this show is dumb as hell. I don't get it, and I hate it. I hate Raw. I gave the show a D- because, it was horrible, but I at least, thought a couple things, a couple of the matches were good, but still they did nothing for anybody. Jeez, oh man. So I gave this show a D-, and it looks like Robbie has the next part of his story. Let's play this next part of the story here before I check the live chat, and then I gotta get ready for bed.
So, little old Nikki, she embodied that super suit, and would you like to know what she did? She had multiple run-ins with Alexa Bliss. She won the women's Money in the Bank unexpectedly, and then she cashed in successfully the next night on Charlotte Flair and won the Raw Women's Championship. But oh no! Charlotte Flair was immediately implementing her rematch clause and beat Nikki the next.
Remember, it's a champions contenders match now. That's what they call non-title matches with the champions, a champion and a challenger going one-on-one. It's a championship contenders match. Even though, remember, Charlotte already has a match for SummerSlam.
Next night on Raw. Now, this is the part where I would probably do something like wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. But yeah, I'm sorry. What really can I do when Nikki Cross just won the title and then lost to Charlotte Flair the next night? So, yeah, basic 50-50 booking, eh?
Basic 50-50 booking, yeah, but at the same time, Nikki Cross, like, you couldn't tell me one time, even when she won the match, you couldn't tell me one time Nikki looked like she even stood a chance against Charlotte. She looked like an idiot. Like I said, I know, again, this whole superhero gimmick was her idea, but as I always keep saying, to me it just feels like she just stooped down to Vince's level and just thought like Vince, and came up with something so corny, so childish, like, only a 5-year-old would love the gimmick that Nikki Cross has. Like, this whole idea of her almost being a superhero and trying to beat one of the best would work much better if she didn't have the damn belt around her waist. She shouldn't have been champion. I'm sorry. This is just so stupid. Who wants to pay to go to SummerSlam to see a triple threat match involving Nikki A.S.H, Rhea Ripley, and Charlotte Flair? Not me. D-. Raw is boring. Lashley loses Raw WWE champion. Then Kevin Nash. Not Lashley's fault. I'm glad Lashley's getting a chance to be champion, but it's just, he's given crap to work with. Vince needs to retire. Is Ric Flair done with wrestling? Must be if he got released from his Legends deal. Cena and Roman better main event SummerSlam, which it probably will. Nikki should lose that cash in. She should have. Or at least gave it more time. At least gave it more time. Who knows, though. That's my Raw review, guys. I'm going to bed. I'm not reviewing NXT tomorrow because I'm going with my girlfriends, but I still gotta do that. I gotta do my NXT TakeOver 36 card predictions. I gotta go back into Harry Potter. I'm trying, guys. As always, I'm trying. It's just, life's just busy right now. So, that's my Raw review. What are your thoughts on this, guys? Make sure your thoughts down in the comments section below. Slap a like on the video. Subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter at DemandAirborne93. I'll most likely see you guys Wednesday night. Be safe. Have a good night. Peace out, everybody.